here. I guess I could. We start with something that's very helpful to you, especially coming up on the holidays. So support for the Don Lemon Show comes from ZBiotics. All right, I have to tell you about this little game-changing thing that I use before a night out. It is called pre-alcohol from ZBiotics. Now, here's the deal. When you drink, your body turns alcohol into a toxic byproduct. That's what makes you feel rough the next day. It's not the dehydration. It's not age. It's not the extra glass of wine that you swore was a good idea. ZBiotics PhD scientists engineered a product that breaks that stuff down while you sleep. You just make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll actually want to get out of bed the next morning. I tried it for a friend's birthday dinner, and let's just say that there was tequila involved, and the next day I was up early, hanging out with the dogs, feeling great. No drama, no regrets, just ready to do the show and bring you the information. Football season is here, so whether you're tailgating, celebrating, or just cheering from the couch, make ZBiotics your first drink of the night. Go to zbiotics.com/lemon and use the code LEMON for 15% off of your first order. They've got a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're not impressed, they're going to refund you. That's zbiotics.com/lemon. The code is LEMON. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? I just messed something up on my earpiece. How are you guys? Sorry, today we're a little late. Actually, we're a lot late. I'm not even gonna front. We're a lot late because I thought I had this all together last night. You know, I went out and I did some man on the street interviews last night because I've been watching online, and then I turned on a little bit of the mainstream media, as they say, corporate media, and I didn't see a lot of it. But here's what I'm hearing now. I don't know. Hang on. Feed went down. What is going on? What feed went down? Let's see here. Hop on if you guys can hear me.
I'm not sure. It seems fine for me.
Yeah, it's fine for me too. Is the feed down? You guys can see? Let me know in the comments. That's Peter. Peter is always having computer issues. We need to get Peter a new computer, I think. So you can see me now. Okay, great. So this is what I'm getting from my folks who are experts in the social media world. And they're saying to me, TikTok and Twitter, that's what they believe. They are censoring ICE content. They believe that they're suppressing ICE content. They say TikTok. Now, you guys are on TikTok. Let me know if you think that is so. I'm not on Twitter. Let me know if you think Twitter is doing it as well. So that's what I would like to know. Are they censoring this stuff? Because every time we go on, I was trying to have a meeting with the social people, and we were looking for instances of things that are, from all the ICE raids and the stuff that's happening in Chicago and the National Guard and all of that. Let me know. Yeah. Yes. And now TikTok is going to be in the hands of another conservative, this like conservative media consolidation. It should be frightening. I mean, TikTok, tell me you guys are on there. I'm telling my social team, other people's social teams are like, all of our content's being suppressed around this ICE stuff. Are we living in a Gestapo? Like, what on earth is happening with this stuff? Wow. Is that why people are not outraged, not taken to the streets? That's what I want to talk to you about. That's what I want to talk to you about this morning. And I'm going to, before I go into how I feel about this, I just want to show you why I feel this way. Because this is just one example, and I'm going to show you the examples after I give, my little take on this. But this is in Colorado, okay? This is a family. I think there's like a 1 month, there's a newborn inside of the car. And ICE is smashing the car's window. And then I'm going to show you the incidents that's happening in Chicago. And I'm going to, look, I don't know why the streets aren't filled with people. But I'm going to start you off this morning with this, just so you know. And you can't let your voices be taken away. Even if they try to suppress you, even if that is true, we have to figure out ways to get around it. Maybe that means you have to go to other platforms like Fanbase. Maybe you have to go to some of the other platforms and start posting stuff and start making those as big as Twitter and TikTok and whatever. And if you don't use those platforms, then maybe they'll learn something. ABC, Disney, Jimmy Kimmel, a la ABC, Disney, Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, everybody. So this is tough. I don't know if you've seen it. We're going to show you the stuff so that, because I think you need to know what's happening. So here's the video. Watch.
Ya me encerraron, ya me agarraron, güey.
What is he being pulled over for? What is he being pulled over for?
Le van a quebrar el vidrio, te toca, Martín.
Le van a quebrar,
Le van a quebrar el vidrio, Martín.
There's a child! There's a baby!
I need my baby, bro. I need my baby, bro. Open the door. I need my baby, bro. I need my baby, bro. I need my baby, bro.
There's a baby! Can you guys have a little bit mercy, dude? He has a 1-month-old. He has a 1-month-old.
I don't know, bro. Hey. Yes, okay. Hey, it's for my baby, bro.
There's a baby.
It's my baby, bro. No.
Martín, aquí estamos en el
No,
fire
aquí
stop.
está, Martín, en el otro. Aquí está. Okay, it's okay, sir. It's okay, sir. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, motherfucker. Can I ask why he's being detained? Can I ask why he's being detained? Can I ask why he's being
He has
detained?
an immigration warrant.
He has an image. Can I see the warrant signed? Can I see the
You
warrant
can come
signed?
to the office.
No, I need to see the warrant. This is illegal. You guys do not have the warrant
This
signed.
is not
No,
illegal.
you guys do not have not shown us the fucking warrant.
You can come
You
by the
have
office
no.
and see it.
I want to see it right here. I want to see it right here. You guys don't have the fucking warrant.
Cover my back.
You're stepping his phone. You're
Stay
stepping
down.
on his phone.
Back
Give
up.
me his
Back
phone.
up. No.
Give me his phone. Give me his phone. I'm
Back
asking,
up.
give me his phone. I need to call his boss. Give me his phone. Can I have his stuff?
No. You don't want his phone to call
He
you?
literally
He
took
has
it.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
can I have his stuff though? Can I have his stuff? I need his stuff.
He's gonna need his stuff.
I need his stuff.
Well then,
We have a baby.
after we process him, then we'll call you. He'll call you.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Does this not piss you off? And I should not be surprised that that MAGA and conservatives are being hypocrites right now, because those are the law and order people, the follow the Constitution people, the First and Second Amendment people, the small government people, the don't tread on me people, stay out of my business people. That is, I am surprised that people aren't just in the streets now protesting what's going on. America, wake the hell up. Like, what are you doing? And I don't mean to chastise you. I don't mean to chastise my subscribers. I don't mean to chastise you. But what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we allowing this to happen? Are we just so stunned that it's happening that we are immobile? Like, why are we allowing this? We don't have to allow this. This is our country. America, wake the hell up. Well, I saw people arguing over the Bills and the New England and the Patriots. Like, people are arguing about football and celebrity gossip about Bad Bunny, and like, okay, the people who don't like Bad Bunny they're idiots. But also look at the other stuff that's happening. Federal agents are raiding American neighborhoods like we're under occupation. We do not have to allow this to happen. You've seen the videos, some of them. I'm hearing they're being suppressed. Maybe you haven't seen them. Maybe you've just scrolled past them. Chicago, South Shore, Portland. Does anybody remember MOVE from the 1980s? I'm going to talk about that. You remember the MOVE bombing in in Philadelphia in the 1980s? Helicopters in the sky, that reminded me of that. Drones overhead, agents in combat gear breaking through doors before sunrise. In Chicago, they're calling it Operation Midway Blitz. Like we are a war zone. And when they say, oh, this is like a war zone, yes, because you're making it into a war zone, you idiot Trump. And just the feckless Kristi Noem, you're making it into a war zone on purpose. What is in those Epstein files that you guys are trying to do? Like, what's in those files, Donald Trump? Then you have to do this as part of the cover, as part of the distraction. 37 people arrested in this Operation Midway Blitz. But among those people who were arrested were U.S. citizens, and among them were children. I'm going to show you the evidence. America, please listen to me. If you're listening to me, if you're in the sound of my voice, if you can see me, please wake up. A 9-year-old boy dragged out barefoot, crying for his mother. A toddler burned by a flashbang that was thrown into a bedroom. A teenage girl zip-tied in her pajamas, even though she wasn't on the list. That's not law enforcement. Trauma, that's trauma. That's terror. That's terror. That's cruelty being repackaged as policy. And they are bragging about it this morning. Bragging about it, not just this morning. They're calling it success. They called it success. What is successful about terrifying a child? What is patriotic about shooting a woman at a protest? What's orderly about hitting a journalist with a pepper ball for doing her job? I'm not calm about this. I'm angry. I'm mad as hell because this is not who we say we are. This is cruelty becoming normal. And what breaks me most is that we're watching it happen to children. And we've learned just to scroll right past it, even if it does show up on our feed. Even though they're suppressing it, if it does show up on our feed, we just look at it and we go, and then we just scroll right past it. When I saw those kids in Chicago barefoot crying, dragged from their homes by men in helmets and flak jackets, I immediately thought of MOVE in Philadelphia. If you've not heard about this, I'm going to educate you about it, and I want you to look it up. This was 1985. I knew this because I heard about it, and then eventually I went to work in Philadelphia as a local reporter and anchor. But this happened the year after I graduated high school. In 1985, Philadelphia police dropped a bomb on a row house on Osage Avenue. It was a home in an American city. Don't think this can't happen. Don't think that we can't go to this level or that it doesn't get worse. Do you guys remember MOVE? 11 people were killed, 5 of them children. Dozens of homes were burned, 61 houses destroyed, 250 of their neighbors were left homeless. They fired 10 rounds of ammunition. They shut off the water, and when the fire started, they just let it burn. They just let it burn because that fire wasn't just physical, it was political. It's like now. It was a warning to anyone who dared to defy them. I don't know what is going on, America, with us, but why are we allowing this to happen? That wasn't a physical fire in MOVE. I'm using that as an example so that you can see that was a political fire and a warning, do not defy. No one went to prison. No one was held accountable. No one. The city apologized decades later, like in 2020 or something. But the truth remains, when the state sees certain people as disposable, it will destroy a neighborhood to make a point. Well, you know, the people here, they're illegal. They shouldn't be here in the first place. They're undocumented, they're whatever. It's not what we're supposed to do in America. We don't do that in America. We're about due process here. Supposed to be rounding up the criminals. Where's the criminal record? Supposed to have due process. Show the warrant. That's what happens in America. And if you think that, well, you know, they're doing it to them, right? That attitude, they're doing it to them, they won't do it to me. You are sadly mistaken. Just like all of those fools who are, do you know, I will vote for Donald Trump people. You know those guys? And then they're crying months after Donald Trump was elected because they deported their husbands, their wives, their girlfriends, their grandfathers, and now they're like, this wasn't, he's supposed to do the criminals, it's not supposed to be me. But that's the same for you. If you think it can't happen to you, black people, white people, any member of a minority group, you think, okay, watch. Because when they start trampling on people, the least of these, the rights of the least of these, of people they think are disposable, they're going to do it next. That's just the test. And here we are again, the same kind of violence, different uniforms, different decade from MOVE. Children traumatized, communities terrorized, politicians pretending that it's order. That's a lie. In the meantime, Washington is shut down. Workers are unpaid. Families struggling. Are we great again? Look how great we are. The government can't even keep the lights on, but somehow the raids just keep coming. They don't have money for your health care, but they have money for raids to send federal officers to cities. They've got money for that, but they don't have money for you to be able to make sure that you stay well, to make sure that your premiums are low if you need to go to the doctor or if you get a service from a medical professional. If you guys don't understand, you MAGA folks, they have co-opted you. The poor people, not the rich people, but just the average working class people have more in common, no matter what your ethnicity is, than to the wealthy elites. And they are co-opting you to go against immigrants and minorities, and you're buying it because they took your jobs. They didn't take your jobs. They can't even fill jobs now because they have deported so many people. And now people are complaining, the farmers, people in the service industry, we can't keep our business open, we can't get workers. Well, you should have thought about that before you voted for Donald Trump, because this is exactly what you voted for, even if you say that you're not ready. Republicans control the House, they control the White House, they control the Senate, and they control the chaos. They said that they would bring order, they have brought fear. They said that they would bring unity, and they have brought division. They broke it, and now they want us to blame somebody else for it. It is their fault, the Republicans' fault. We used to stand up for less than this. We obviously we stood up for more than this, but we have stood up for less than this. And we've stood up for big things small and big, like Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat. She forced leaders to act. John Lewis, Bayard Rustin marched across Selma's Bridge. They forced Lyndon Johnson to sign the Voting Rights Act. And when Gloria Steinem and Shirley Chisholm and Bella Abzug, remember her with the hats? I loved. We need characters we need people like that. Where are those people? When Gloria Steinem and Shirley Chisholm and Bella Abzug, when they demanded equality, they changed the conversation and the law. Women, how do you think you got equal rights? You had to protest. You had to be willing to sacrifice something. When Marsha P. Johnson, do you guys know Marsha P. Johnson? Marsha P. Johnson, this is a drag queen. This is the Stonewall riots. And Sylvia Rivera, they rose up at Stonewall. They forced the system to stop criminalizing gay and lesbians and transgender people. When Larry Kramer and Vito Russo shouted, "Act up," they forced Ronald Reagan to finally face the AIDS crisis because they were making fun of it at press conferences. They were ignoring it. Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, you know that Dolores Huerta and Cesar Chavez organized farm workers. They made governors and growers bend. Rachel Carson's Silent Spring rattled the conscience of the nation. Nixon, because of her, Nixon created the Environmental Protection Agency. Here in America, when anti-apartheid activists filled campuses and streets, that forced Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher to finally impose sanctions. When the world watched, recently, all of you should know about this, watched George Floyd die on video, millions forced police chiefs and mayors to rewrite use of force laws. And when young voters in Georgia, Wisconsin, and Arizona stood in line for hours in 2020, they forced Donald Trump out of the White House. That's what happens when you, Americans, get fed up. That's what it looks like when the people remember the power. When the people remember that the people at the top, the wealthy, powerful class, are trying to divide you because they don't want you to stick together. They realize there's more of us than there are of them. That's what they're doing right now, and you're falling for it. You have to remember your power. We don't beg for change. We make it impossible to ignore. Now look at where we are right now. Children being dragged from their homes, journalists attacked for filming it. And this week, a judge's house burned to the ground after ruling against the most powerful man in the country. Her name is Judge Diane Goodstein. She's in South Carolina. Her home is gone now. Now look, investigators are still looking into the cause. There are no conclusions yet. But I mean, the timing and the symbolism speak for themselves. They're still investigating, but my gosh. Because when even judges begin to fear their own rulings, that's why this is important. When holding the powerful accountable becomes possibly dangerous, or not possibly becomes dangerous, that's not just one family's tragedy. That is a warning shot for democracy. And let me remind you of one of Dr. King's greatest strategies. It wasn't just moral clarity. It was visibility. He and Bayard Rustin didn't pick Selma or Birmingham. That wasn't random. That was strategic. They picked places where the violence would be undeniable, where the cameras would roll, where America would see what was being done in its name. It wasn't just a march, it was a mirror. Those images of dogs, of hoses, of John Lewis bleeding on that bridge, those images changed the world. They made hypocrisy impossible. And the people don't The folks in charge don't want you to see that right now. All of the media owners and the oligarchs and the very powerful billionaires that own the media, well, they're on Donald Trump's side because they're making money hand over fist, and they don't want you to see that because it's going to stop their money. And they believe in what Donald Trump believes in. The people in power today, they know it. They know the danger of an image. They know that one unfiltered video can unravel thousands of lies. That's why they're trying to control the cameras. That's why they're trying to control the story. That's why they're trying to control the truth. That's why you're seeing intimidation. That's why you're seeing bans. That's why you're seeing the lawsuits, the threats. I'm going to sue you. And Donald Trump says it on camera. Maybe I should sue you. I sued this, and he brags about it. I got millions from this media company. I got millions from that media company, and they're just blah, 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 relenting. That's why you're seeing the intimidations, the bans, the lawsuits, the threats, even violence against the press that you're seeing. Because just last week, Federal Plaza right here in New York City, journalists were shoved, they were pepper sprayed and detained for trying to film a federal sweep. And now the Pentagon is tightening its grips, restricting access, revoking press credentials, saying you can only publish stuff that we approve, punishing reporters who show what they don't want seen. That's not security, people. That is censorship. Wake up, America. Don't let them do it. Do not forget who you are. The law and the Constitution are on our side. This isn't illegal. It's not illegal to protest. It's not threatening violence to protest. It is your right as an American citizen. The very First Amendment protects protest and the press. It protects your right to stand up, to speak out, to record, to publish, and to bear witness. Do not be intimidated. That's what separates a democracy from a dictatorship. And if we surrender that, we surrender everything. Everything. It takes a while for public sentiment to come around, but it does. The truth always comes to light. It always comes out in the rinse. And let me give you an example. While this is happening here, Gaza still burns. But the truth always comes out in the rinse. More than 67,000 Palestinians are dead, most of them women and children. Israel keeps bombing Rafah. Peace talks are underway right now, Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, around a U.S. brokered plan calling for a phased ceasefire. We'll see where that happens. On the ceasefire, on troop withdrawals, and prisoner exchanges. Both sides have agreed to parts of it, but not enough, because the fighting continues. And let me tell you about where the truth always comes out, where public sentiment always catches up. It takes a while. Back here at home, the public's patience is evaporating. This is the latest Washington Post poll. Just this week, found 61% of American Jews saying that Israel has committed war crimes. 39% call it a genocide. Nearly 70% disapproved of Netanyahu's leadership. Among all Americans, a majority disapprove of Israel's campaign. This isn't a fringe. This is not fringe stuff. This is a conscience of a country turning right now. Because the truth is the same everywhere. Oppression looks the same no matter who carries it out. It is the same sickness, the same arrogance, the same addiction to domination, to power. So yes, I am angry. I am pissed off. And you should be too. Angry that people are being brutalized in our name. Angry that politicians are using patriotism and fear to justify cruelty. Angry that a country built on freedom is becoming a machine of control. But anger alone isn't enough. It never was enough. I want you to think about the people who weren't born into courage. Think about the people who weren't born into courage. They were scared. They were poor. They had nothing and everything to lose. I'm talking about my mama and your mama, my grandma and your grandma, my uncle and grandfather and father. I'm talking about you. Many of them are still here. Most of them are. I'm talking, and you know what I'm talking about. Those brave people who had nothing. Look, I'm not going to tell you how my family grew up in the country of my mom and my grandparents. But those very people who had nothing and everything to lose, they stared down dogs and water hoses. They sat at lunch counters and they were spit on. They were arrested. Some of them were murdered. And they kept coming back anyway. America was scared then. We were scared then. They were scared then. They're scared to march on Washington, scared to sit in, scared to face police dogs and water hoses. Nothing and everything to lose. So why are you so afraid now? Why are we so afraid now? Why are we so apathetic? We have more resources, more rights, more protections. What's wrong with us? Are we that comfortable? Are you that comfortable? Are we that lazy? Are you that lazy? That detached that we don't care anymore, that we don't want to stand up because we want to, buy a Birkin bag? Because we want to drive a Mercedes, or because we want to live beyond our means? Because what is it? Are we that detached that we don't care anymore? That the creature comforts has made us lazy and soft, and we're going to lose our democracy and our rights over it. Wake up, because comfort is a slow poison, people. Apathy is the gift of the powerful. It's the gift the powerful people pray for. If we surrender the courage that once made presidents move and regimes fall, all of that will be gone. Mark my words. Old people be knowing. If we let this pass, the next generation will ask why we didn't act. History will not be kind to us. It will not be kind to the people who watched children dragged from their homes and said, oh, well, and kept scrolling, or just said, oh, I'm ticked off, and just wrote about it on social media. We need courage again. We need the kind that Rosa had, the kind Marsha had, the kind Larry had, the kind that Baird had, the kind that stood in front of tanks and police lines and said, you will not break me. Every generation before us had a moment like this, when silence became shame and ordinary people found extraordinary strength. This is ours. This is our time. If you can see a child dragged out of their home barefoot and you feel nothing, then the idea of the America that you believe in no longer exists. But if you can see it and feel your blood boil, that means that you are still alive. And this is not about left or right. It's about right and wrong. This is about conscience. Don't tell me that we're powerless. We're not. Don't tell me it is too complicated. It's not too complicated. Don't tell me it's someone else's problem. It's not. It's our problem. We can vote. We can march. We can call. We can organize. We can turn kitchen tables into phone banks. We can show up at city halls and courthouses. We can make their cruelty impossible to hide. We can put it on independent media. We can put it on social media. We can put it on our feeds. We can look each other in the eye and say, this is not normal, and we will not be silenced while my country, your country, our country turns on its own people. Wake up, America. This is not normal. You don't need permission to be outraged. You just need a conscience. And if that conscience is still alive, if outrage is still burning anywhere inside you, then America still has a heartbeat? Maybe. Not because of people in power, not because of people in power, but because of the people who still give a damn. Could you give a damn? Could you wake up, America? Please. Before it's too late. It's almost too late right now. And now I'll show you the evidence of what's happening in America after a word from our sponsors. This episode of the Don Lemon Show is brought to you by Graza, the olive oil that made me retire every other bottle in my kitchen. So here's what's special. Graza bottles their olives in the same season they're picked and pressed, okay? You can literally see the harvest date on every bottle. That's freshness that you can taste. They got two kinds, sizzle and drizzle. Sizzle is for your everyday cooking, all right? Perfect for that roasting, sauteing, and all that. Let's just throw it in the pan and see what happens kind of cooking. That's my kind of cooking. And then there's drizzle. It is bold, peppery. It's a perfect finishing touch. I drizzle it on everything, salads, pasta. You can even do it on ice cream. Don't judge it. Don't judge it till you try it. You can even do it in martinis. I'm telling you, all right? So I love cooking for friends, and Graza makes it easy. Sizzle for the skillet, drizzle for the table, and right now, it is their annual site-wide sale through October 21st. Discounts automatically applied, no code needed. Go stock up for the year at graza.co. That's graza.co. Or you can hit the QR code. The Don Lemon Show is brought to you by the Freedom from Religion Foundation, because the First Amendment is not a suggestion, it is the law. All over the country, politicians are trying to sneak religion back into public schools. 10 Commandments posters, school chaplains with no training, and voucher programs that send public money to private religious schools that exclude LGBTQ students and non-Christians. But the Freedom from Religion Foundation is fighting back, and they are winning. A federal court just blocked a Texas law that would have forced every classroom to post the 10 Commandments. That's how you protect real freedom, by keeping government and religion separate, the way it's supposed to be. So if you care about that too, learn more at ffrf.org/school, or you can text my name, Don, to 511-511. Don't let your rights be rewritten. Go to ffrf.org/school or text Don, D-O-N, to 511-511. Text fees may apply. Thank you to our sponsors. Now let's get back to the program. I don't really know what else to do besides tell you this and speak to you the way that I've been speaking. When we talked about this morning in our morning meeting, said we have to be careful that we are not inciting violence. I said, when does it become an incitement of violence by telling people that they have a First Amendment right? You saw what happened with ICE agents before, smashing that car trying to smash the window of a car with a baby inside. Trying to smash the window of a car with a baby inside. This is Chicago police, Chicago ICE. This is an arrest that failed because officers were shamed by a mob. Watch it.
La migra!
Look at him.
No.
Chokehold. Somebody help that man, please.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. Get off him.
Ayúdame, quítalo. Está amarrando los huevos. Hey, get the fuck out of here! Let me see your fucking face, bro!
Let him go.
Fuckers. People did not give up. They were careful not to go too far and assault agents, or I don't know, those goons. Who knows if they're legit? They're not. They have no arrest rights in America. Did you guys see that shit? That's the stuff that you're not seeing. Some of you are like, I can't watch because they're not showing it to you. And it's allegedly, reportedly being suppressed. Some of the images, I don't think that they will show you on the TV because they're afraid the Trump folks are saying, oh, well, you are putting the agents' lives in jeopardy or being identified. Really? With masks on, no warrants. They want to be afforded a right that they're not affording other people. I don't know what that man, why they wanted that man. I don't know why they wanted him. I don't know if he was undocumented. I don't know what it was, but still, really? Also, I'm going to show you what's going on in Chicago. This is an ABC News report.
I spoke to one woman who actually lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Pratishu Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen App video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Watson says budget trucks and military-style vans were used to separate parents from their children. Other neighbors say they saw agents destroying property to get in the building.
And they had a big 15-inch chainsaw with a round blade on it, cutting this fence down. We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military.
The FBI did confirm this morning that they did help the U.S. Border Patrol carry out a targeted immigration enforcement operation in this area, and they say they have been supporting these efforts at the direction of the U.S. Attorney General.
Even police aren't safe from these goons in Chicago. There's a report that police were tear gassed by the agents. Watch.
They'll throw you in the fire! They'll throw you in the fire too! Understand? They just tear gas you! They don't give a fuck about you either! Why you protecting them?
That's in Chicago. And then I got a police call, recording of a police call from Chicago this weekend, telling police not to assist in Chicago, not to assist the agents. Watch.
Okay. Any kind of particular hairstyle, just younger male Hispanic on foot wearing all black?
No hairstyle.
Okay, 10-4. And one is for the hit and run. This guy fled from the scene at 37th Place in Kedzie. It all started at I-55 in Kedzie. Then they fled southbound at Kedzie, where that offending vehicle crashed. They ran the federal agent off the road. They fled on foot westbound 37th Place from Kedzie. It was a male Hispanic younger wearing all black clothing. 99.
Yeah, send the cars in that direction. Have them stay put 2 or 3 blocks away, all right? Have them hold tight until I give you further direction, please.
Okay, 10-4. And for the units responding to 39th Place in Kedzie per 999, if you guys can just, for the units responding to 39th Place in Kedzie, if you guys can start heading there as quick as you can, and then just hold tight for instructions with 999.
999.
999.
For the chief of patrol, clear everybody up. We're not responding over there.
Radio check. And again, per the chief of patrol, we have all the units that, per 999, chief of patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location.
62, we're going to clear out as soon as we can, Spot. We're like locked in over here, so we're going to do the best we can to get out of here as soon as we can.
So just so you understand, they were ordered not to go and help the agents, not help the people. This order has been controversial, but the mayor says to stand down with assisting federal troops. According to sources, this came directly from the mayor's office. The chief of patrol, known as Unit 999, gives orders to not assist the federal officers from Homeland Security. And you heard them saying, stand down. 999. The chief of patrol. That's happening in Chicago right now. Wait till you hear the other stuff. Word from our sponsors first, 2 minutes. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. October 10th is World Mental Health Day. And this year, we're saying thank you, therapists. Thank you very much. BetterHelp has helped over 5 million people. And behind every one of those stories is a therapist who listened, showed up, and helped someone move forward. So if you've ever had that one therapist who just got you, take a second to appreciate them. As a matter of fact, to have therapy right after this show. True story. And if you have never tried therapy, maybe this is your sign, because sometimes talking it out changes everything. BetterHelp makes it easy. Over 30,000 therapists, all online with flexible scheduling. You fill out a quick questionnaire. They match you, and if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime. Find your person. Start your journey. Get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/DonLemon. That's betterhelp.com/DonLemon. Support for the Don Lemon Show comes from Shopify. Now, when I started this show, it was just an idea. Now it's a full business. And honestly, Shopify made that possible. Shopify is a commerce platform that powers millions of businesses, from global brands to people like you with a dream and a product. So they make it easy for you. Plug it in, pick a beautiful template, and boom, you're live. Their AI tools can help you write product descriptions, create discount codes, or even generate your marketing emails. And that cha-ching sound when you make a sale, that's not just money, that's momentum. That sound. So turn your what ifs into why nots and sign up for a 1-month trial at shopify.com/lemon. That's shopify.com/lemon, because the dream's not going to build itself. So turn those dreams into with Shopify. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Producers, just so I'm clear, I forget we have so many. The 911 calls are bogus. Is that Chicago or is that New York? That's Chicago, correct? Yes, I'm sure.
Yes, Chicago.
Because they're not here. All right. So this is Chicago again. According to this CBS report, ICE is making bogus 911 calls. Watch.
You are watching as Broadview police respond to a 911 call, claiming someone was tampering with a gate at the ICE detention facility there. Body camera footage obtained by the CBS News Chicago investigators shows several Broadview police officers respond to an alleged Homeland Security threat. The gate in question is where ICE takes detained immigrants for processing.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Not much.
How are you?
Good. We got a call of subjects trying to climb over the fence or something.
No, not since we've been here.
But when police arrive, all they find is 2 people and a camera. Our CBS photographer filming the exterior of the building with a CBS security guard by his side.
Okay, and you guys didn't tamper with any of the...
No, man.
The 911 call claiming someone was tampering with the gate came from an ICE agent. According to this incident report, an ICE agent called police for help.
But he can't go and try to force his way into that door.
Okay, so the guy in the
He just says
No,
that
the
he
guy
was
in
just
the
recording.
camera.
Do you believe that that was a false call? I do.
Again, it was just our CBS photographer filming the exterior of the building.
In your mind, bogus. Yes. It's disturbing. It's ridiculous.
Broadview Police Chief Thomas Mills says this is just one of several questionable 911 calls his police department has received from ICE at this facility recently. This same detention center has become the site of at least 3 other incidents involving federal agents who are accused of hitting people with cars, shooting projectiles, and using chemical agents on journalists, including a CBS reporter last Sunday.
And those are the news reporters and the cops. And the agents are making bogus 911 calls. We can do something. You guys know Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth, right? Well, first of all, I'll stay in Chicago. Tammy Duckworth was on one of the Sunday shows, and she talked about what ICE is doing, what Donald Trump is doing. Remember, she is a war hero, a combat veteran. She lost her leg in I think it was Iraq. Here she is.
You're talking about President Trump's directive to send Oregon National Guard troops into Portland, and the judge said that untethered to the facts. But in this case, I mean, the Homeland Security advisor says there's a large and growing movement of left-wing terrorism organized and funded. They're posting on Homeland Security images of snipers. So we're not talking troops, we're talking about federal agents that are carrying out some of this right now. Have you seen any evidence of what Stephen Miller is describing here in terms of organization and targeting of federal agents?
No, not at all. It's simply not happening. They are lying. And so if anybody is targeting anyone, it is out of control ICE agents targeting, again, zip tying children, throwing reporters onto the ground, separating children from their mothers, trying to convince schools to turn over kids from public schools. They are ranging through the streets of Chicago, trying to intimidate everyday ordinary citizens who are just trying to go to school and go to work. That's not acceptable. That's not what America is about. And it is shameful that the President of the United States has instigated this on one of its greatest cities. He should be defending the city. He should be protecting the city. Send us the federal dollars that were appropriated in a bipartisan way to support law enforcement. They took money away from law enforcement officers, child prevention effort, violence against children prevention efforts. They've literally, this president has defunded the police.
She does. I agree with all of you in the comments. She does rock, and she is a shiro. She is a shiro, a hero. But this is what Donald Trump is out doing. Lying about what's happening, saying this is a war zone when he's creating a war zone. This one he's talking about Portland. Watch.
We're going to look at that. It was amazing. Portland is burning to the ground. It's insurrectionists all over the place. It's Antifa. And yet the politicians who are petrified. Look, the politicians are afraid for their lives. That's the only reason that they say, like, there's nothing happening. And you've seen it. The place is burning down, and they pretend like there's nothing happening. So we'll take a look at the order. We haven't seen the order yet.
A lie. And yes, she did say Donald Trump is defunding the police. Literally. He is doing it. Kristi Noem is out lying. He lied about Portland, and now Kristi Noem is out lying about Chicago.
Do you tie a direct line between the rhetoric from people like Mayor Johnson and other Democrats to the actual increase in assaults and the threat of violence?
Oh, absolutely. He's giving them air cover. He's giving them air cover so they can go out and keep committing crimes. It's wrong. There should be consequences for that and for leaders that stand up and knowingly lie about the situation on the ground. This is a war zone. His city is a war zone, and he's lying so that criminals can go in there and destroy people's lives. Those individuals that live there are waking up to it. They understand that where we have gone, we've made it much more free. People are much safer. We've got 1,000 criminals that are off the streets of Chicago just because we've been there, not because of his help. And in fact, they don't even let our ICE officers and our Border Patrol officers use restrooms in facilities. Those men and women were telling us that they have to figure out even where they can go sit down for 5 minutes to have lunch or to use a restroom throughout their shift and their break. So they've made it a very difficult situation, but
Anyways, I want to show you this because, first of all, let me bring in Michael Fanone. Michael Fanone, hero police officer from the insurrection at Capitol Hill. Mike, thank you. When we're talking about these law enforcement issues, I always like having you on. Before I hear from you, by the way, thank you for joining us. Good morning. This is Mike Nellis breaking down this terrifying situation in Chicago. I want you to listen, everyone, and then we'll hear from Michael what he thinks about it.
I agree that this isn't about Pritzker versus Trump, but I have a question of who's going to protect the people of Chicago and the people of this country from the ICE agents that are terrorizing the city. I live in the city of Chicago right now. People are absolutely terrified. There are amassed unidentified ICE agents in unidentified cars driving throughout the city, grabbing people off the streets. They took a Black Hawk helicopter and they rappelled down an apartment building, ransacked the entire place, handcuffed everybody, including kids, and then looked at their immigration papers later. They're not going after people who are here violently, who are being violent. They're going after all kinds of people based on their skin color, and that isn't right. And look, there are real problems in this country on immigration. We should secure our border. We should remove people who are violent. But this situation is out of control. And there are a ton of peaceful protesters at the Broadview facility right now. Now they're calling in the National Guard, which the people of Chicago do not want. This needs to end because the situation here is a powder keg and it's only going to get worse.
Mike, I'm sure you heard the beginning of the show where I talked about what happened at Move in Chicago when they bombed that house. I thought about that this weekend or last week when we saw the Black Hawk helicopters landing in Chicago. What do you think? Is it out of control? What is going on here?
It's completely out of control. I think that From a law enforcement perspective, ICE seems to be operating as the Trump administration's national police force. They are an extra.
I don't think your AirPods are in. I think your the other mic, the external mic is picking it up. Yeah. Let me know when you're ready. Are you there?
Is that any better, Don?
No, but we'll take it. Go for it. Just speak up loudly.
Yeah, no, I think that ICE is operating as the Trump administration's national police force. And that's probably the best thing that I could say about them. They are extrajudicious. To call them a law enforcement agency, I think gives them too much credit. They are operating outside the four corners of the law. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I've never seen Black Hawk helicopters participate in a domestic law enforcement operation ever. And I've been involved in too many complex tactical takedowns, investigative takedowns involving much more than executing a few warrants inside of a apartment complex, in which we did not use helicopters for some pretty obvious reasons. There's no reason to have military dress during a domestic law enforcement operation in which you are simply marching through the streets of an American city aimlessly as a show of force. This agency is completely out of control.
Mike, I'm surprised that people aren't on the streets. Like, what is going on in America? Are these images being suppressed? Are people overwhelmed? Are they afraid? Like, I'm surprised that people aren't out marching in the streets all over the country.
I don't know what to say to that.
Maybe it's still sinking in. Or, like you were saying earlier, if you're watching legacy media, if you're not watching, the Don Lemon show, if you're not watching the Michael Fanone show, if you're not getting your news from certain independent media sources, you don't even know that this stuff is happening. I mean, Black Hawk helicopters were involved in a domestic law enforcement operation inside of Chicago against the, wishes of every elected leader in that state. And not one single legacy media news organization covered it. And I actually went on MSNBC this weekend, and they didn't show any actual footage from the event.
Why?
Which I don't know. Other than the fact that I think these news organizations, like you were saying, they have been threatened by the administration that if they detail ICE agents or ICE operations, that they will, that they're going to go after them for putting these agents, lives in jeopardy, which is complete and utter bullshit. I've said 1,000 times, in a democracy, law enforcement agencies must be accountable to the people. And ICE, as it's currently being run, is completely unaccountable to the American people. Whether it's members of Congress who are trying to conduct legally obligated oversight of their facilities and their operations and being denied access. Some have even been arrested for trying to gain access into these facilities. Not just the demonstrators, but, press, independent media types that are trying to cover these events outside of ICE facilities, who are being harassed, who are being assaulted, and then many cases arrested. I'm with you. I think it's time we take to the streets. I think that this agency is completely out of control, and it needs to be dismantled. There is no hope for reforming ICE. It is completely corroded and a corrupt organization that engages in state-sponsored violence. It needs to be dismantled. And, you know, these agents who are engaging in this behavior should be held criminally accountable. And it should, you know, at the very least, should never hold any other law enforcement position for the rest of their lives.
Michael Fanone, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.
Okay? Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Thank you. Before I leave you today, I just want to show you this. I like to leave you sometimes with a little bit of humor, because I said the truth is often spoken in jest. A little bit of humor, a little bit of facts. John Oliver does it so well. This is John Oliver talking about this crazy situation that's happening.
Yet again this week, we saw nauseating footage of ICE raids around the country, with perhaps the worst happening in Chicago, where federal agents handcuffed a city council member, tossed a tear gas canister onto a busy street near a school, and raided a whole apartment building, turning apartments upside down. And the details of that raid are grotesque.
Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Wow. Fuck them kids. That is completely unacceptable coming from a federal fucking agent who has zip-tied children. The one glimmer of hope has been the strength of the pushback from local communities around the country. There have been widespread protests against ICE, and some of them very funny, from someone dancing in a giant frog costume outside an ICE detention centre in Portland to a protest outside Chicago holding up this excellent sign which read, "I fucked two of you on Grindr, parentheses, pretty sure," which is very good.
That was John Oliver. Anyways, so look, you're informed. Guys, you have to be willing to sacrifice something. We can't just let this continue to happen. I get out there on the streets and I talk to people, and I'm working on doing something more. I'm not going to say now, but more. We all have to do more. Okay? So continue, please. Like last night, by the way, if you guys watch MSNBC, if you watch The Circus on Showtime that used to be on, if you know who John Heilman is. So I was out, I did a live man on the street last night, and I ran into John Heilman, or some people call him Heileman, but it's John Heilman. And an amazing guy, very smart. And this is what he said. This is my contribution now, but I'm going to make a bigger sacrifice soon. Here it is. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
It's me, Don Lemon.
Oh!
Can I ask you some questions, sir?
I'm going to a movie.
Who's more responsible for the shutdown, Democrats or Republicans?
Republicans. They control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Who else would be responsible?
Why aren't people upset about, like, out on the street about these ICE agents and National Guard just like roughing people up?
Here's the thing, Don. You know this is the reality, right? It's an unprecedented thing for most people. They watch on television. I'm not saying they don't believe it's happening, but it doesn't feel very close to them until it comes to their town. And then if it comes to Los Angeles, or it comes to Chicago, or it comes to Portland now, people have a different reaction to it. I think it takes a little bit of time, because people are still like a little bit, is this really happening?
But it's like secret police to me. I would think Republicans would be more outraged than anyone about the due process of it all, and big government. And
we have only seen one instance where Republicans have sounded like what you would think Republicans who care about free speech sound like, which was around Jimmy Kimmel. Don Lemon is a smart motherfucker. Don Lemon is not surprised that Republicans in the world of MAGA have deviated from conservative principle and are acting in many cases like hypocrites, and in other cases like members of a cult. You're not surprised.
No, I'm not.
Neither one of us surprised to see this. Republicans stopped being conservative a long time ago.
This man is doing the work. I love what you do.
Independent fucking media. Go do it.
Thank you, John. You want to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, go to donlemon.com. You want to support independent media, this is how you do it. Independent journalism, independent media. Okay? So if you want to hit the watch button. That's our main show on YouTube. You can subscribe or you can join. If you subscribe, it's free. You join, it's a very reasonable membership. Okay? So make sure you do that. And if you click back out, go to donlemon.com. You can also get merch if you want to know the shirt. This is my shirt. It says, I am watching the Don Lemon show. I'm watching Don Lemon live at 5. I am a Lemonhead. This you can find as well. People always ask me about the shirts or the hats or the merch that I'm wearing. So you asked for the merch, you got it. Thank you for supporting. Thank you so much for supporting independent media. I really, really, really mean it. Okay. We don't have any merch photos, do we, guys?
Not this morning, no.
Okay, not this morning. Thank you so much, everyone. DonLemon.com is where it's at if you need anything about the show. So figure out what you're going to do. Become involved, please. I'm not asking you to put yourself in jeopardy or in danger. I'm not asking you to break any laws or violence or none of that. But it is your First Amendment constitutionally protected right to speak, to push back, to organize, to protest. Freedom of the press. So thanks all. I will see you back here at Lemon Live at 5. So, today, right? Today we have the representative from Arizona, don't we? At 5 o'clock?
At 5, it's 5:30, yes.
5:30, but on our 5 o'clock show, maybe she'll come a little bit early, but we have the new representative Grijalva, the one that Congress, Mike Johnson, won't swear in, the one that's going to give Democrats the votes to be able to vote to release the Epstein files. She's going to join us live at 5 today. Okay? So until I see you here on Lemon Live at 5, Lemon Live at 5, you can be informed without being inundated. Until I see you then, 5 o'clock, turn the TV off. Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.